Hey everyone! Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating questions in the Monsterverse. Why did Godzilla choose to stay on Earth's surface instead of retreating into the mysterious Hollow Earth? After all, we've seen that the Hollow Earth is a paradise for Titans. An entire hidden world filled with energy, ancient ecosystems, and other massive creatures. So why would Godzilla, the king of the monsters, reject this seemingly perfect sanctuary and instead remain on the surface, constantly battling threats and defending humanity? Godzilla is more than just a giant monster terrorizing cities. He's a force of nature, an apex predator, and, arguably, the planet's oldest guardian. While the introduction of the Hollow Earth concept in Godzilla vs. Kong opened up a whole new dimension, literally and figuratively, to the lore, it also brought forward a fundamental question that has fascinated fans ever since. If Hollow Earth is truly Godzilla's ancestral home, why does he choose to remain on the Earth's surface instead of returning to this more peaceful, less human-populated environment? This video aims to dissect that question in depth by exploring Godzilla's behavior, his role in the balance of nature, the threats that exist both above and below the surface, and the implications of his presence in either world. Is it out of duty? Instinct? Or is there something deeper going on? Stick around, because we're about to break this down in detail, covering lore, biology, and even the symbolic role Godzilla plays in the Monsterverse. And trust me, by the end, you'll see Godzilla's decision in a whole new light. Hollow Earth is introduced as the natural habitat of the Titans, a place where they can roam freely without interference from humans. The Titans are drawn to the immense power source located in Hollow Earth, a source that is vital to their survival and seemingly resonates with their biological makeup. For Kong, Hollow Earth represents home, a domain free of human manipulation, noise, and pollution. A place where he can potentially rule without challenge. But for Godzilla, the surface world continues to be his chosen domain, despite the allure of this hidden utopia. Why would a creature like Godzilla, a being who has lived for centuries and presumably evolved in Hollow Earth, opt to stay in a world where he is constantly at odds with humans, military weapons, and other Titans who seek dominance? The answer isn't simple, and to truly understand it, we need to delve into the character and mythology of Godzilla as portrayed in the Monsterverse. First, let's talk about the Hollow Earth itself. Introduced in Godzilla vs. Kong, the Hollow Earth is a vast subterranean world, home to exotic flora and fauna, gravity-defying landscapes, and most importantly, an immense source of radiation and energy that Titans thrive on. We know that creatures like Kong's species originated there, and other Titans, such as Camazotz and the Warbats, call it home. It's essentially a Titan utopia, a place where these colossal beings can exist without human interference, feeding on the natural energy that flows through the planet's core. Let's also talk about his connection to radiation. In the Monsterverse, Godzilla thrives on radiation. He feeds on it, absorbs it, and even weaponizes it in the form of his atomic breath. The Earth's surface, due to nuclear testing, power plants, and other human activities, has a relatively high level of accessible radiation compared to Hollow Earth. Yes, Hollow Earth has its own power source, but it's unclear whether that energy is as easily absorbed or metabolized by Godzilla. The surface, on the other hand, provides him with multiple hotspots of radiation that he can tap into when needed. For a creature that literally feeds on nuclear energy, staying close to those sources makes evolutionary sense. So, if the Hollow Earth is so perfect for Titans, why hasn't Godzilla made it his permanent residence? Well, the answer isn't as simple as you might think. One of the biggest reasons Godzilla stays on the surface is tied directly to his role as Earth's Alpha Titan, the apex predator responsible for maintaining balance. Throughout the Monsterverse, we've seen that Godzilla doesn't just exist as a mindless beast. He's a guardian, a force of nature that ensures no other Titan threatens the planet's equilibrium. So when we think about why Godzilla remains on the surface, one reason becomes immediately clear. This is where the imbalance is. The surface world, with its sprawling human cities, energy sources, and nuclear activity, is a breeding ground for disturbances that attract or awaken dangerous Titans. Godzilla stays on the surface because that is where he is needed the most. Hollow Earth may be his origin, but the surface is his battleground. Think about it. If Godzilla retreated into the Hollow Earth, who would stop rogue Titans like Ghidorah or the Mutos from wreaking havoc on the surface? Remember, Ghidorah wasn't just a rival, he was an alien invader, a creature that would have terraformed Earth to suit his own kind. Godzilla fought him not just for dominance, but for survival of the entire ecosystem. And let's not forget Mechagodzilla, a man-made abomination that nearly destroyed everything. Without Godzilla's presence on the surface, humanity would have been defenseless. So in a way, Godzilla's decision to stay above ground is a self-imposed duty. He's not just a king, he's a soldier standing guard at the gates. Now, let's talk biology. Titans feed on radiation, and while the hollow Earth is rich in it, the surface has its own advantages. Godzilla has spent thousands of years adapting to surface-level radiation sources, nuclear plants, underwater vents, and even ancient ruins like the one in Antarctica. Some theories suggest that Godzilla's species evolved specifically to regulate surface-level ecosystems. Unlike Kong, who thrives in the hollow Earth's unique gravity and energy fields, Godzilla's physiology might be optimized for the surface. His dorsal plates, for example, absorb and redistribute energy in a way that's more efficient in open atmospheres rather than the dense, pressurized environment of the hollow Earth. Plus, let's not forget, Godzilla is an ancient creature. He's been around since the dawn of civilization, possibly even longer. His instincts are wired to protect the surface because, for him, that's home. The hollow Earth, while abundant, might feel like uncharted territory, a realm better suited for younger, more adaptable titans like Kong. Here's where things get really interesting. Godzilla isn't just an animal, he's a sentient being with a level of intelligence we're only beginning to understand. He remembers past battles, holds grudges, just ask Ghidorah's skull, and even forms reluctant alliances when necessary. So what if his choice to stay on the surface isn't just about duty or biology, but something deeper? What if it's about legacy? In Godzilla, King of the Monsters, we learn that Titans and humans once coexisted in a form of worship. Ancient civilizations saw Godzilla as a god, a protector. That kind of bond doesn't just disappear. Even if humanity has forgotten its place, Godzilla might still feel a connection, a sense of responsibility that transcends mere survival. And symbolically, Godzilla represents nature's wrath and mercy. He destroys cities when provoked, but he also saves the world when needed. By staying on the surface, he remains a constant reminder, a force that keeps both Titans and humans in check. Finally, let's not ignore the fact that the hollow Earth isn't exactly a safe vacation spot. It's a brutal, uncharted wilderness filled with predators even Godzilla might struggle against. Remember the Warbats? Or Camazotz, the bat-like titan that nearly killed Kong? The hollow Earth is a battleground in its own right. Additionally, Godzilla's surface presence serves as a check against human technological overreach. The creation of Mechagodzilla and Godzilla vs. Kong is a perfect example of humanity pushing the boundaries of science without understanding the repercussions. Godzilla's aggressive response wasn't just territorial, it was a direct confrontation with artificial interference in the natural order. His attack on Apex Cybernetics wasn't random, it was surgical. He knew exactly where to strike. That level of precision indicates a creature not only aware of the world's dangers, but also capable of identifying and neutralizing them before they spiral out of control. For Godzilla, staying on the surface means avoiding unnecessary conflict. He's already the alpha. Why risk his position by diving into a realm where other alphas might challenge him? On the surface, he's unchallenged. In the hollow Earth, he'd have to constantly fight to maintain dominance. Now let's look at his relationship with other Titans. Godzilla's interactions with other monsters reveal that he doesn't simply attack out of instinct, he assesses threats and responds accordingly. For example, he doesn't go after Kong until Kong is brought to the surface and becomes an immediate presence. Their battle in Godzilla vs. Kong is less about hatred and more about dominance. Two alpha predators unwilling to share the same domain. And yet, after their battle concludes and the greater threat of Mechagodzilla arises, Godzilla doesn't kill Kong. Instead, he acknowledges him as an equal and walks away. This act suggests that Godzilla is not needlessly aggressive, but rather deliberate in his choices. So what does that tell us about his decision to stay above ground? It reinforces the idea that Godzilla isn't just hanging around for nostalgia or instinct, he's staying because it aligns with his purpose. His mission is ongoing, and as long as there are threats emerging on the surface, he will remain. Hollow Earth may offer peace, but Godzilla doesn't seek peace, he enforces balance. And balance, in the modern world, is most precarious on the surface. We also need to consider human activity as a contributing factor. Humanity has fundamentally altered the Earth's environment through urbanization, industrialization, and the development of weapons of mass destruction. These activities frequently awaken or attract titans. Unlike Hollow Earth, which exists largely undisturbed, the surface world is a volatile, ever-changing landscape. Godzilla is drawn to instability, not by preference but by necessity. It's the instability that awakens enemies. And when enemies rise, so does Godzilla. Another important element is the Titan hierarchy. As Godzilla, King of the Monsters, shows us, the Titans are not just animals, they operate within a kind of social order. After Godzilla defeats Ghidorah, other Titans bow to him, acknowledging him as their king. This isn't just a theatrical moment, it speaks to the biological and possibly even telepathic connection the Titans share. Godzilla, as their king, must be accessible. Staying in Hollow Earth would isolate him, possibly preventing him from asserting control over new or emerging Titans on the surface. His rule depends on presence, on visibility. A king cannot rule from exile. And let's not forget, Godzilla is territorial. He's claimed the surface as his domain for millennia. Titans are creatures of habit, and Godzilla isn't about to abandon his throne just because there's a shiny new world beneath his feet. Godzilla's decision to remain on the Earth's surface in the Monsterverse is a complex blend of instinct, duty, strategy, and symbolism. He stays because the surface is where the greatest threats arise. He stays because his presence deters other Titans from challenging the natural order. He stays because the energy sources he needs are more accessible here. He stays because his rule depends on visibility, on engagement with the world above. And perhaps most importantly, he stays because the surface is not just where the war is, it's where the world is. Hollow Earth may be a haven, but the surface is the stage upon which the fate of the planet is decided. And Godzilla, ever the guardian, will be there, watching, waiting, and ready. So why did Godzilla choose the surface over the Hollow Earth? It's a combination of duty, biology, instinct, and symbolism. He's not just a Titan, he's the last of his kind, a guardian who has shaped human history from the shadows. The Hollow Earth may be a Titan's paradise, but the surface is Godzilla's kingdom. And honestly, that makes him even more awe-inspiring. He could vanish into the depths, live in peace, and let the world fend for itself. But he doesn't. Whether out of pride, responsibility, or something we can't even comprehend, Godzilla remains. And as long as he does, Earth has a king. What do you think? Does Godzilla stay out of loyalty, or is there another reason? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a Monsterverse breakdown. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.